Hello, you are highly welcome to this virtual workshop, which I have decided to call 10x Your Income in 30 Days, Turning Your Passion into a Money-Making Machine by myself, Fuller Chibune. Now, I'd like to set the intentions of my intentions straight. I am intending that you get clarity on your current income level, that you are able to design a plan to multiply your income by 10 within the next 30 days. And if possible, okay, if you're ready, that you sign up to accelerate the results that you are looking for by coaching with me. But then there is no obligation, okay? So if you don't feel called to do it now, that's still fine. I'd like for you to get the most out of this workshop. All right, during these 5 days, we'll be talking first about how to understand the factors that are responsible for your current income level. That will be today. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about how you can embrace your 10x self. Wednesday, we'll be talking about, or day 3 rather, we'll be talking about how to set your 10x goals. On day 4, we'll talk about how you can make a plan and I'll show you my high ticket strategy to 10x your income as a service provider, coach, consultant online. And on day 5, I'm going to share with you my tips on how to stay productive and stay motivated if you are not yet ready to work with a coach. Okay? Good so far? All right. So a little bit about me. Who is Fula and why should you listen to me? I was born in Cameroon to a family of 6. I am second. And my parents actually raised 12 of us with as little as $35 a month when my father, when I was born. And I have seen my father do things out of nothing. And it's actually from my parents that I have inherited our generosity. And I'm grateful for that. I'm a mother to 5 kids and I am a wife. I'm married, okay? My background, my academic background is in agricultural economics. To be more precise, policy analysis. I have evaluated projects and programs, both at local and international level. I have and both governmental and non-governmental projects and programs. I have been a university lecturer and researcher. I have been a financial advisor here in Canada. I have been a trainer of hundreds of entrepreneurs, okay? So what I'll be sharing here with you is something that I have taught over the years. It's equally what I have practiced for myself, and it is what has made millionaires online. So trust the process, all right? My values are simplicity. That's my 3 core values. I have so many values, but my 3 core values are simplicity, integrity, and sustainability. I just do not devote my time to anything that is not durable. That's just me, okay? So a little bit about my childhood, my journey. As I just started telling you, I was raised by both parents. I was lucky for that, thank God. And my parents were very hardworking. I had my dad, I had people praise me when I was already in university by bosses that just passed through my father's workplace even after he had gone, just to let you know the kind of workaholic he was. He really left a story behind, a footprint behind that kept talking about him, and people could even identify me with that value or that quality of his very long time after he had even stopped working and he was on retirement. So I'm grateful for that. But what guys I didn't understand was why my father was so hardworking. He would be the first at work, last from work, but we were living in misery compared to his boss. Like, misery is relative, right? In the sense that he was not able to offer AC. We were living in the north of Cameroon, where temperatures were up to 45 degrees Celsius. We would sleep on the veranda instead of in the house with an AC, for instance. So there were some of these luxury things that I really yearned for at the age of 5 that my parents could not afford. And then the person I saw him who was only giving orders to my father, he was the one having all this luxury. So at that very young age, I already started asking my father questions. Why the disparity? Why are you always so shabby, always so busy, and then we are not having the same comfort like this guy? And my father told me, Fuller is book. In my vernacular, it means lengwala. It means it is education. And so that imprinted something in me, that education is key to having the good life. And from that very young age, I became very, very interested in education, to the detriment of many other things, okay, which I'll share with you in a moment. So what kind of parenting did I go through? Very many restrictions. There was no room for mistakes. My father's motto was, don't spare the rod and spoil the child. So whenever we made a mistake, we were given snake beatings, okay? So I'm happy actually that we went through discipline, but I think it was too much. So now back to my academics. I excelled very well in studies, okay, to the extent that when I arrived to university, I finished my engineering cycle, and then I was awarded the most prestigious scholarship by the European Commission, called the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, and so I went to Belgium to study. This was where I faced real challenge, okay? So up until now, my family, because I was already married by then, I have my last kids, who are twins, were only 4 months old. So I traveled to Belgium alone. It was only then that I realized that my husband, my parents, my siblings, they had been putting up with a lot that I needed to shed off. I was unable to cope in an environment where people could not accept me for who I am. And I was carrying a lot of baggage. I didn't know that until then. So I struggled. I really struggled. I almost left the program halfway, but thankfully I went through. It was a 2-year program. I had my master's degree. Then I returned back to Cameroon. But this is the thing. It was then that I realized that I needed to do something. I needed to step up my game. And that was when I decided that I was going to start personal development, self-development, or however you want to call it. And I made that decision. And 2 years later, here I am teaching in the Catholic University of Cameroon. And one of my students comes up to me after class and he asks, Madam, I see that in addition to just the economics and the agriculture you teach us, you like to motivate us. You like to tell us how to be better people and all of that. I really love that about you. Please, may I ask, have you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? I said, no. He said, oh, have you read As a Man Thinketh? I said, no. He said, have you read Psycho-Cybernetics? I said, no. He kept going on. He kept going on. I said, no, no, no. He said, madam, I wish you read this. If you read these books, you're going to be even better at motivating us. And this guy was so generous. He shared a whole library of tens of books with me, and I read them as if I was preparing for an exam, guys. I was so hungry to be a better person. I read those books and they transformed my life. He equally shared audios with me, and I'm very, very grateful to King Careful till date. So that was how my journey, personal development journey began. And then I was getting better gradually, but then the real U-turn happened when I became a financial advisor in 2019. In 2019, 2018, sorry, I was a financial advisor. And then here there was a real change, was that I depended only on commission as income. Meanwhile, prior to that, I had my steady salary coming in every month because I was a civil servant and all of that. But this time it was just commission. And even though I had won the first challenge, because in this world, there is always a challenge, there is always a prize to win and all of that. We are always on our heels, always pressure on us. And I really didn't like it. I thought I was up to the task, but I realized that it was weighing me out. Okay, so I decided, when I was being offered my prize, I told them, they gave me the floor to speak, and I told them, this is not fair. Why don't you give a minimum salary before you start adding commissions based on our sales? You know, blah, 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 like a normal small girl, right? We will complain instead of just trying to work and meet up. So that is it. I complained, and yeah, it was really challenging for me, to the extent that I had to hire my first coach, which was a money mindset coach. So we did a lot of work on my mindset, and it did not only help me with my mindset, but it equally helped me to find my purpose. And I took again a second coach and a third coach who have helped me embrace my calling, which is to be a coach, which is to be a trainer, who is to be an entrepreneur. And I just love what I am doing so far. So my journey as an entrepreneur, what have I learned? It has been fun throughout. And so luckily, I'm having 4 enterprises running, my husband and myself. We have this one, which is Legacy Coaching and Consulting. We have a company in logistics and transport, which is my husband is really the main person in that one. I run it alongside with him. We have Agri for Dev, which is a not-for-profit organization, and we do a little bit of consultancy there as well. And then our baby project that is coming up in agriculture. And with these projects, we are able to generate 6 figures years consistently. But this is the thing. People told us that when we arrived here, people told us that you are immigrants, you have to go and work in those small jobs and then find your way up and before you become a manager, or you go back to school. In fact, I had started a PhD back in my country, Cameroon, before I immigrated here in 2017. So the song was that I should go back to school, blah, blah, blah. I said no. I knew deep within me I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So starting as a financial advisor, selling other people's products first was going to be a shortcut for me to master marketing and all that stuff before I eventually produce my own products and services. So I had that very clear in my mind, but there were challenges along the way. You're right. So when I fully embraced my calling to be an entrepreneur, what I have learned is that investing in myself pays over and over and over and over and over again. It just doesn't end. Right, because the first coach I hired was to work on my mindset for my financial advisory services, but then I have these other 4 companies that I'm running with the same money mindset. I have my kids, which I'm teaching based on the same money mindset. I have you that are watching me based on the same money mindset, and I don't know who you'll be teaching else. I don't know the transformation that will happen in your life based on just the fact that I chose to invest in myself. So it's priceless, right? The second thing that I learned as an entrepreneur is that 1 + 1 is not 2. That 1 + 1 is infinity. It's anything that you want it to be. In the entrepreneurial world, it is not about working 1 hour and being paid a fixed rate. You can work 1 hour and be paid $1 million. You choose what you want to be paid. That is what I love about entrepreneurship. The third thing that I have learned about in entrepreneurship is that I have been my biggest enemy based off my limiting beliefs, and getting myself out of my own way has been my breakthrough, right? And I have done this. How have I achieved this? I've achieved this by leveraging. I have leveraged other people's time. By hiring a coach, I have actually bought a part of their life so that they can allocate time to me to share their experiences and their talent and their gifts with me, right? That is one thing that I have learned, and it is priceless how much you can pay for somebody's time. Second thing that I have learned is to leverage money. And by leveraging money, I mean that when I use money that I have saved to invest in myself, I'm not as motivated as when I use money borrowed. Because when I use money borrowed, it is like there is a pressure on me to have an ROI on that investment and then put the money back. Or not ROI, let me use the return on investment. Okay, so I try to have return on investment before so that I can give that money back. Otherwise, the lender will come after me. If it is my credit card, I don't want the accumulation of interest rate on my credit card. So I work harder to pay off that credit card. That is one thing that has been so helpful for me. The third thing that has been very helpful for me in order that I take away myself out of my own way is by leveraging other people's talents. There are many designs that I can do on Canva and stuff, and I used to try to do my logo myself. I'll try to do my funnel myself and all those kind of things, and I used to. Okay, and the moment I realized that I am a perfectionist and that it is never too good enough, I stopped. Right, I stopped. And so now I hire somebody to do the work for me, not because I don't know how to do it, but just because I know that it will enable me to progress. Because if it was only left for me, I would have to do it over and over and over again. And for example, this event will never take place. Okay, so these are what I have learned in entrepreneurship, and you can equally learn that from me, right? You can learn from my experience. Okay, let us dive into today's topic. We want to understand the factors that are contributing to our current income level. And how do we do that? We're going to do that by I'm going to ask you a few questions to see if any of these resonates with you, okay? So let's say, are you fasting and praying for God to bless you with money? Do you fast and pray? Because I used to do that. Do you fast and pray for God to bless you with much money? There is nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's not enough, okay? There's nothing with praying. It's not enough. That's just step one. Ask. Then there is always a step 2 and step 3 that many people do not do. Then do you overgive, believing that you shall be blessed in return? I told you my parents, with $35 per month as income, they were able to raise 12 children. That's minimum. That's the one I know, because my father used to equally just give money to other people that I do not know. So overgiving is one of our issues as women also. We females, we overgive, beginning from the fact that we are mothers, we are wives, we are always overgiving. But when it comes to accumulating wealth, do you think that the solution is to overgive, or the formula is to overgive? Third, I want to find out, do you hustle like my father did, because there is no food for a lazy woman, and you're expecting results, and you're expecting to create wealth? Let me know. Are you afraid that people would criticize you because you have started a business, or criticize you because you are overcharging for your services? Please let me know. Do you feel that nobody in your family has been wealthy, therefore you cannot be wealthy? Do you think that it is just for other people, it's not for you? Or do you think, or are you convinced that it is noble to have just enough, so you shouldn't be too ambitious? I used to ask that question equally sometime. Why is Bill Gates still in business? Why is Warren Buffett still in business? They've got enough already. Why are they still in business? Well, it's a human, not even human. That is the divine nature in us to always want more. Okay, and the moment you are not wanting more, not like you are not satisfied with what you're having, but the moment you stop creating, you're dead. You are no longer living, right? So it is just but natural that we want more. Now, I'd like to ask you a few questions so that let us see what you are believing about your money, okay? So, do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Let me know. Do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Do you believe that money cannot buy happiness? Do you believe that money changes people's characters for the worse? Do you believe that money destroys marriages and friendships? Perhaps your parents were victims, and now you do not want to hear anything about money. yet you get up every day and go to work for the same money. Do you believe that pursuing riches is like chasing the wind? That having too much money will attract high taxes, bad friends, hatred, therefore you just want to have only enough? Please let me know what else you're believing about money, okay? And then let us equally find out with you what you're believing about business, okay? I know where I'm getting at with this. So are you believing that business is too risky? Do you believe that you are not smart enough or creative enough to do business? Do you believe that successful people are manipulative? Successful business people are manipulative? Do you believe that a lot of effort is required to have a successful business? And so you are avoiding business because you do not want to overwork yourself? Do you believe that because you have tried many times and failed in business, it is not your thing? Do you believe that? Do you believe that you must sacrifice something to succeed in business? From where I come from, that's what we usually believe. When we find very, very wealthy people, the general story that goes around is that, oh, they have done woo-woo and sacrificed their mother or their manhood and what have you. For that reason, many people dissociate themselves from money or from business. But even more importantly, what I have noticed, or what I have seen, is that, or from my perception, sorry, is that people, our society of Cameroon, they have never really trained entrepreneurs until recently, until the 2000s. All the way training were clerks, were people who work in the factories and all of that. There was really no program creating entrepreneurs. So at the end of the day, most of the people who were entrepreneurs were people who never even went to school. They were school dropouts and all of that. So it was not noble to see an intellectual say he or she is a businessman or businesswoman until recent years. So this is a thing I want to tell you. The questions that I have just asked you, if you look critically into your own mind, they will enable you to understand clearly what it is that you are believing about money and about business. And they are these beliefs, okay, that are responsible for your current reality and many others. There are many beliefs I've not talked about here, but every negative belief you're having about money subject, about business subject, they are what are responsible for where you are at. If you are finding an invisible ceiling on your income and you've been working too hard and you've not been able to get past that ceiling, this is a reason. And so Maxwell Maltz, who is the author of Psycho-Cybernetics, he says, you will never outperform your self-image. And by self-image, he meant your belief system. And this guy, he was a cosmetic surgeon, okay? He was a cosmetic surgeon, and he realized that when he did surgery on people, and they even became more beautiful, more handsome, they couldn't still meet their goals. All that mattered was really what they believed about themselves and about their ability to achieve those goals. So that was what really inspired him writing the book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And then most of personal development stuff has been based on these findings by Maxwell Maltz. Now, you know already that you have at least one or two negative beliefs. The next question is, how are these beliefs formed? These beliefs, they are formed in your mind. And your mind is comprised of two spheres. You have the conscious mind and you have the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is your rational mind, and your conscious mind is your thinking mind, and it is where you have all the receptors, your five senses: hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, feeling. That's where you touching and smelling, sorry, and tasting, sorry. That's where you get all you receive. Every information from your environment is coming through these five senses into your conscious mind. Now, you have the ability to accept or to reject this information. But the mixture of this information is what is going to form your thoughts. If you choose to entertain the information that you have received through all these receptors, and you keep accepting them, over time, what happens is that it's going to become a programming that will be transmitted to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your feeling mind, is your emotional mind, okay? And your subconscious mind does not know true from false. Because you have been entertaining all these thoughts in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind now just receives, okay? It cannot accept, it cannot reject. It cannot reject, sorry, it only receives. It just receives. It's irrational, right? It's irrational. Now, what happens at the level of your subconscious mind? This belief, this programming now becomes your shield. It is now it that is going to filter every information that is coming. So initially you had all these receptors, information was just coming, and you could you were receiving, especially when you are only a kid. You do not know how to reject or to accept anything. You just accept. Sorry, do not know how to reject anything as a kid. You just accept, and because you continue accepting along the way, it becomes your program, your paradigm by which you are living by. Now, with your paradigm, you have now this filter. When information now is coming which is not in accordance with your programming, with your paradigm, what happens is that it blocks. It cannot enter anymore. It blocks. And that is your subconscious mind that has taken control. Okay, now with the conscious mind, you can say, oh, I want to change this, I want to do this, but you are not doing it. Why are you not doing it? It is because your subconscious mind has already been programmed differently. All right, and it is that programming in your subconscious mind that is going to direct your actions. So say you want to, I don't know, you want to go take a loan and invest in yourself, but your thoughts just block it. Your subconscious mind just blocks it. Why? Because you have already learned over time that debt is bad. Right? So what do you need to do to overcome that? Is you need to be aware, you need to be conscious, you need to expose yourself to a new way of seeing debt over and over and over and over again, same way that you had already learned that debt was bad, it's the same procedure that you're going to learn that there is equally something called good debt, where you leverage other people's money, and you have to learn that over and over and over again until it becomes your own paradigm, and then you will be comfortable to go take a loan to invest in yourself. And same thing, that's an example. Same thing with your income. Your income, whenever people are talking about earning 100,000, because you've never thought about it before, because you've said that you just want to pay your bills, you just want to make ends meet, that is like foreign language. It's Chinese they are talking to you, right? 100,000 K per month now would just be like Chinese. It's not anything that you can identify yourself with. And because of that, you will eventually remain at your $2,000 or $3,000 every month, just because of that programming. So in order for you to step up the game to 10x, what do you have to do is to start exposing yourself and believing that 10x is possible to multiply your income by 10 times. So say you are earning 5,000, it is possible for you to increase your income by 10 times, say 50,000. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And now I'd like to leave you with a very small assignment. I'd like for you to write down your core 3 beliefs you have about money and your 3 core beliefs you have about business. Okay, once that is done, I'm gonna see you on day 2 of this training. Thank you very much.